The thumbnail for this video was made by Jin Django, a viewer of mine and a really cool artist. You can check out his artwork at the website on screen and in the description. Thanks very much, man. Every year around this time, we have the privilege of watching the Game Awards. The show is, as you might expect, a yearly awards show for the best video games released that year, considered to be video games' own Oscars or Emmys. In fact, sometimes directly compared to them.
Here we're serving this. Look, the Oscars should fuck themselves up. This is the shit. I'm telling you, this is the real shit. What is this? The interactive gaming. Look, I'm just saying this.
The Game Awards began as Spike TV's Video Game Awards, or the VGAs, starting in 2003. It was honestly a nightmare of a show that most fans considered to be a mockery of video games. Hosted by celebrities that did not care whatsoever about games, and stuffed to the brim with advertisements and meaningless musical numbers. And actually, the modern show is much the same, showing that some things really don't change all that much. But there was one big change. The Spike TV era of the VGAs, from 2003 to 2013, was produced by Game Trailer's host Jeff Keighley, who was known to gamers for his impassioned defense of Mass Effect on Fox TV in 2007, in regards to that game's sex scenes with the blue alien Liara. That version of the Game Awards, already not popular with gamers, suffered a complete crash and burn after the infamous Dorito Pope incident of 2012. Keighley, in his capacity as the producer of the VGAs and official representative of Spike TV, gave a heartfelt speech about what video games meant to him and how much he loved the industry and the medium and his job and the people he works with, while surrounded by an avalanche of Doritos and Mountain Dew. The look on this man's face as he desperately tried to convince everyone he was not actually a shill is basically what single-handedly tanked the whole project. It's no surprise to me that the VGAs only ran for one more year, but they didn't die along with the rest of Spike TV. In 2014, the first year after Spike had axed the awards, Keighley started up his own show, titled just The Game Awards, or TGAs instead of VGAs, though a lot of people still use the VGAs to refer to the show. This was Keighley's passion project. As a teenager back in 1994, he was tapped to provide material for Cybermania 94's hosts, William Shatner and Leslie Nielsen, who didn't know much about video games and relied on Keighley's additions to their scripts. Though Cybermania was a short-lived failure, it planted the seed in Keighley's mind that video games should have its own awards show, just like every other medium. And when it came time for the VGAs to break away from Spike TV, Keighley invested $1 million of his own money to get the 2014 show off the ground. This is his baby. Despite my complaints about how bloated the show can be sometimes, it's still a pretty fun spectacle. Gamers are a rowdier crowd than most media consumers, and game devs are a lot less professional, leading to each year's show generating at least one lasting meme.
Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars!
And 2022 is no exception. Like, for example, when the voice actor for Kratos in God of War gave a 10-minute monologue, clearly drunk or high or something, causing Keighley to quip that he was trying to give away more Steam Decks. Steam had a deal with the Game Awards to give away a Steam Deck to a random viewer for each minute of airtime. Or when Al Pacino came out on the stage, looking like he had one foot in the grave, and gave a meandering speech about being too old for this shit, but his kids like video games, and that's nice. Or the epic flute guy in the orchestra, who went absolutely wild every time the camera was on him. Or how angry everyone was at literally every single winner of every award, most notably the Player's Choice Award, going to Genshin Impact instead of Sonic Frontiers. But these aren't the memes you're here for, right? Like, these are pretty good, but they're not what stole the show. You're here for this.
Hey, Matan. You know, real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
All right, well, that's right. A random kid snuck on stage, got a hold of the mic, and said, "I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton." I was streaming the awards live with my friends and we couldn't believe it. We had to rewind back and see it again for ourselves. During the stream, I had a feeling something was off. The Elden Ring team had won previous awards, and it was the same guys going up to the stage to accept it each time. To have this random kid with them in the background, who is clearly not an adult Japanese game dev, but just blending in back there like he's part of the crew, it struck me as odd. Like, what is this guy doing here? Is he the son of one of the developers? Maybe they have a white wife or something. Is he Joseph Ferez's son? The winner of last year's Game of the Year, and the announcer of this year's? What is he doing there? Watching the stream back, you can see the moment when he just slips into the crowd from another aisle. This became the breakaway meme of the 2022 Game Awards. There's just too many memes to go over them all. It went viral like mad. People are making Elden Ring Invasion references. People are making references to that old public access cable show, Gaming in the Clinton years, plus the usual Sneak 100 and Among Us memes that you'd expect. People will be laughing about this for a long time. But some people weren't laughing. Keeley, for one. And that's understandable. After all, this is his passion project. And look at his face after it happened. He was pissed. The individual who interrupted our Game of the Year moment has been arrested. There were widespread calls, mainly jokes of course, to free our bro. And if you turn up the background audio on the stream, you can hear the moment where security apprehends him.
My Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
There is, of course, a real security concern here. If he actually wanted to do something malicious and not just be a troll, he clearly had the opportunity. Security wasn't rushing the stage or anything. In fact, they just slowly walked toward the mic while he was talking, let him finish up, and then lead him backstage after the fact. But some people are taking what is clearly just a teenage kid fucking around, maybe fucking around on a bit too big of a scale, but still, just fucking around, and turning it into a whole political issue. I'm finding it very surprising that in 2022, some people thought even for a second that the Game Award kid's speech, which references Jews and Bill Clinton, was just a fun joke. Jesus Christ, man. They're even doing the shoe phrenology thing to discover that he's wearing Kanye's shoes. The leftoids are really trying to make this guy into a political story because of the whole Jewish question thing happening outside of gaming right now. The question remains, who is the Bill Clinton kid? According to a journalist working at the Washington Post, who was in attendance at the awards show, nobody there even knew who he was. Well, there's a few people online who know. Here's a text exchange between two of his friends. Look who's behind the Elden Ring, guys. It's my homie. Bill Clinton? That's him. That's the same kid who was on InfoWars with the Free Taiwan thing. Did he just walk up there and no one stopped him? He told me his plan 4 days ago while I was playing Warzone with him and I said, 0 chance it happens. Dude, if I were still a teenager and this were my friend, I would be reacting exactly this way, shitting myself laughing at what my bro managed to pull off. As for the InfoWars thing, yeah, it turns out he actually was on InfoWars 4 years ago, looking and sounding much younger. For a while, people didn't think it was truly him, but I guess puberty really hit him like a pile of bricks. There's a video on his Twitter account that is also 2 years old. And yeah, if you line it all up, you can see the age progression. As for his voice, that's a jokey accent he puts on, and you can hear him do it over on his TikTok account.
Parce que tu ne parles pas français, tu ne parles pas italien.
Ramba capelle per caraposta manamanono. Rapa carapon.
Tu es très stupide. Parce que tu ne parles pas langue de l'horreur, tu ne parles pas langue de français.
Roposta français baraposta ambala o cotestan shisto la bocotable.
Ah, si.
Great. So do you want to talk on abortion?
Not with someone who's 12.
I'm not 12 years old, and you know that's pretty disrespectful.
No offense, but you sound like you are underage.
But it's the InfoWars appearance that leftoids are leaning on to insinuate that this kid is not just a troll who maybe got in a bit over his head, but instead is actually a raging anti-Semite, indoctrinated by Kanye and Nick Fuentes, and is dog whistling to all the other gamers out there by telling a Jewish Bill Clinton joke and getting instantly arrested. I guess that was his grand plan to bring about the Fourth Reich. The thing is, I watched the InfoWars video. It seems like the host, it's not even Alex Jones, it's some other guy, is trying to turn this kid, his name is Matan Evan by the way, into another Soph. Soph is a right-wing YouTuber who went viral when she was like 9 or 10 and has continued to make content into her teen years. She's like the right-wing's Greta Thunberg, though unlike Thunberg, Soph is at least partially self-produced. I think every political ideology likes to see young people getting involved with their movement, and often tries to center them as mouthpieces when they can. But Evan wasn't exactly playing along with the InfoWars guy. He had a lot to say about Hong Kong and Taiwan, but he passively refused to engage on most other right-wing culture war topics, either redirecting back to China or just trolling. It's his behavior on InfoWars that really makes me think he's just taking the piss. And the idea that this kid's life should be ruined over what is seriously just a prank is wild to me. He's clearly not an anti-Semite. His friends even confirmed he's fucking Jewish. Jokes aside, here is the serious dev take. Should he have been arrested? Of course. You can probably hit him with a trespassing or a disturbing the peace charge, but at the same time, he's a kid. He looks to be what, 14 years old? How much ridiculous shit did you or I get up to when we were 14? And what happened to us if we got caught? Generally, it was a slap on the wrist. Enough to scare us straight, not enough to ruin our lives, over a dumb prank we pulled while we were in high school. The people calling for this kid's head are delusional, man. Imagine not being able to get a job in your 20s or 30s because you wandered up onto a stage at the Game Awards when you were 14 and made a joke about Bill Clinton. That would be insane. No, I don't think Matan Evan is an anti-Semite or a raging crypto-groiper or anything like that, and I hope, for once in their lives, the chained monkeys over at Kotaku have some human fucking decency and leave this kid alone, instead of choosing to publish hit piece after hit piece about how he proves the alt-right is ascendant and taking over America, whipping up Twitter into a witch hunt in the process. He's clearly a kid who was fucking around and got a little bit over his head. Probably a lot over his head. Give him a slap on the wrist and let him go. Nobody deserves to have the internet follow him around for something like this. In any case, Matan Evan is giving interviews. For example, he just spoke to Jason Schreier, who also agrees with my assessment that he's just a prankster. But hey, don't take any of our words for it. Come back to my channel tomorrow and you can hear it from him yourself.